This is Minister Gail from the Learning Basic Hebrew Virtual Classroom 2020. And I will be teaching today on how to use the Strong's Concordance lookup on 3 online references in the blueletterbible.org, esword.net, and thekingsbible.com. If you would get your cell phone, your PC, or your tablet, I will show you how to add these to your browsers and to the home page on your cell phone. The blueletterbible.org can only be added to your PC or tablet. It cannot be added to your cell phone. The Blue Letter Bible or .org can be added to your cell phone home screen, which is easier to look up than the app that they have in the Google Play Store. So I recommend adding the blueletterbible.org to your home screen on your cell phone. And it's for an easy lookup for the Hebrew and Greek translations. Let's start first with your cell phone. So if you go to the browser in your cell phone and go into Google search and look for blueletterbible.org, blueletterbible.org on your cell phone. If you don't have a cell phone, you can do it on your PC or tablet. Once it pops up on the cell phone, you can add it to your home screen for future reference, and it will have the little blue Bible there as an icon, and on your laptop it will look like this picture on the page here. Do not add the app from the Google Play Store. It doesn't work as well as putting this on your home screen directly from the browser. In the next section, we will go to the Blue Letter Bible and learn how to use it. Okay, in this session, we're going to learn how to add blueletterbible.org to your cell phone and to your laptop. If you go in your cell phone and laptop to the Google browser, whichever browser you're using, and type in blueletterbible.org, blueletterbible.org. They have org. Then add that to your home screen. They do have an app available in Google Play Store, but it doesn't work as well as putting this on your home screen. So once you've got this added to your home screen, you'll have Search the Bible over here. And if you see this here, it says Quick Nav. That way you can look up books and scriptures right away if you want to. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 1. So here it brings you right there to the scripture and to the verse. And over here, if you do Listen to the Bible, you can pick any of these versions, including Spanish, and the Bible can be read to you out loud. So I'm going to do King James Version, and it starts reading right away. So that's how you can have the Bible read to you out loud. Over here, you can go down and pick any of the books that you want, right here, all the way through New Testament, and your chapter. You have to push go, or it continues on what it was last on. Okay, so let's look up a word. As I told you last week, you can have 5 or 10 Hebrew words for one English word. So let's look up the word queen. All right, so now it shows you all the scriptures in the Bible. It says 54 times with the word queen. If you scroll down, it gives you all of the verses that go with the word queen in the Hebrew and the Greek. Over here, you can go straight to the book if you want to look up the word queen. So it shows you that queen is in the book of Esther 26 times, but in all the other books it's only once or 7 times. The Queen of Heaven will be in Jeremiah. Okay, so now scroll back up, and on your cell phone, all these areas will be condensed. So you will have to click each tab over on the left in order to open up the program. So here's lexicon. This is the important tab, lexicon. It says there's 8 Hebrew words and Greek, that's Greek and Hebrew, for the word queen. So go to lexicon and scroll down. So on your cell phone, you're going to have to tap each little dividing section to find what it has in there. The laptop expands it out further. All right. So as I said last week, when you look it up in the concordance, if the word is in red further down in the paragraph definition, then it's not the highlight, it's not the queen. You want to find the ones where queen is in the front. So the word you're looking up, so if it's rock, you want to look for the red rock. That's the very first word and not buried down into the definition. Over here, see over here, it's under lady, princess, queen. So let's go over here to this one where it's primarily the red queen. Click that. Now up pops your Hebrew, M, L, K, H. Remember, they read right to left. The dots and dashes are for vowels, and we'll get into that later. So over here is usually 90% of the time it'll be spelled this way in English. And they spell out the vowels when actually the Hebrew just reads the consonants. So this is how it's spelled. Sometimes it will not always match what the Hebrew letter is. That's where it goes, the variations. Now we want to know how it's pronounced. So we have this little icon here. Click that. And you can hear him pronounce the word. Now here's another important area. It's the part of speech. Feminine noun. That's very important. So when you look up words to tell if that's actually what they mean, you need the part of speech. That's very important. And then if you want to dig deeper, you can look up the root word. That takes it even deeper, and that's always nice to do. It's in the Bible 35 times. So in your cell phone, you're going to have to click each area where it says outline. You'll have to click that. You'll have to click Strong's definitions to open up the screen. So here's the Hebrew again. Here's how to pronounce it. Malkah. They show how to pronounce it. And then here's another important area. The Hebrew, Greek, Hebrew Chaldee lexicon is another important area. When you open this and when it says learn more, open it up because this has very, very good explanations of the word. I've learned a lot in this area. Okay, so then it shows you where that word for queen is H4436. That definition is used in these scriptures. So it has 35 times for that word queen being used. So if you go over here and click Tools, you have a drop-down menu, which is excellent. Then go over here and click the scripture, the verse, once. It will come to the top. Then click it twice. And up pops all your Hebrew or Greek you're looking that up. So here's the verse in English. Then you have the verse in Hebrew. And they read right to left. Now, for all those who want to translate from Hebrew to English, that would take you about 3 years of study. One Hebrew word is buried inside of a sentence. So you would be translating sentences on top of words. So here's where it has one Hebrew word equals a whole sentence. And when the queen, so you have to go and look up where this word is in the Hebrew sentence, starting with the M-L-K-H. Here it is here. M-L-K-H. And there's other letters in there also. So that's the whole sentence. They will have added words on the end also. So I will show you how to read the letters. You can write out the letters, M, L, K, H, and the vowels when we learn those. Then you can look up those Hebrew words and see what they do mean. It does work going that way. So then you scroll down. So concerning the name, it's one Hebrew word. So here's the word Yehovah, which I've talked about. So Yehovah is Y-H-V-H, and that's the word for the Lord, and that's in there 6,000 times. It's the capital L-O-R-D, or it's in there in Jehovah with the J, spelled out with the J, 4 times. But it will have the exact same Hebrew word for Lord. So then you can go back. So now let's look up another one. Let's look up Shagal. That's a Hebrew word for queen. It's still a feminine noun. There's the root word. Here's how it is written. This is a Hebrew word for queen also. Then you can have the pronunciation. This one's only in there twice. So it has your pronunciation, Shagal, Shagal. Then it has this description and where it's located. And down here it should only be 2 verses. So when it uses the Hebrew word Shagal for queen, it's only in these 2 verses. So over here, it's only in these 2 books when you use the Shagal. So when someone tells you that the Hebrew word for an English word is such and such, you need to look it up yourself, because I have seen people translate it wrong, and it's not the primary word for the English word. So we'll try one more. Gibara. So here's your Hebrew. G. So here's the one with the B and V that I told you about. So here's where it's pronounced B, but when you look at the B, there's no dot in the center of it. So it's pronounced as a V. People try to write it with a V. That's not correct. V for Victoria. It has to be written as a B, but it's pronounced as a V when there's no dot in the second letter for bet. So then you have the Y, the R, and the H. See, there's a little gap there over on the left. That means that's going to be the 5th letter for H, because you see the gap. This is a feminine noun. There's your root word. This is in the Bible 6 times for queen. Queen mother. So if you look at the Chaldee, Hebrew Chaldee, then it tells you more on that Hebrew word, a deeper explanation. So it's in the Bible 6 times. So once again, you can go to Tools, click the verse once. It'll be at the top in blue. Click it twice, and that brings up the Hebrew. So here's your English definition. The King James is already translated from the Hebrew. So you don't need to translate this Hebrew, taking your time trying to translate this Hebrew into English. This is already translated into English. So now let's look for the word queen. There's the word for I, ayin. See, the apostrophes in the beginning of the word is for the ayin. Here's the word queen, way down here. So there's queen, givara, givara, gevara, and you pronounce it with a V. Gevara, gevara. And if you want to, you can just click back up here, and that will take you to the top. And that's in there 6 times. There's the books. So that's how you use the blueletterbible.org Strong's Concordance. This is the second section on the lookup for Strong's Concordance. We will now go to the reference in your browser, Google browser. Go to www.e-sword.net and download it to your PC or tablet. You cannot use this on your cell phone. This can only be done on your computer, laptop, or tablet. It is a free version, e-sword.net. It downloads for free the King James Version, and the plus on the KJV plus is your Strong's Concordance for the references and the lookup. When you go to the tabs for download, you can add more versions of free Bibles. And I show that in the description in the next video. Once it is downloaded to your PC or laptop, www.esword.net, e-sword.net, it will look like this and have the lookup for the Bibles, chapters and verses. It has a lookup tool for the binoculars, and you can put in a word or a sentence or a phrase that you've heard in the Bible, and you need to find where that is. You can look it up in the easy lookup source tool that they have, and then it has the Strong's Concordance. The words are very hard to see, the Hebrew, so that is why I have 2 other references on this platform to look up the Hebrew and see it easier. And now we'll go to the video to teach you how to use esword.net. This is part 2 of the Strong's Concordance lookup. This is going to be under the section for the esword.net. This is the second source for a concordance. So if you go in your browser and type in esword.net, you can only add this to your PC or your tablet. You cannot add this to your phone. So as we come into when it's downloaded and then when it comes up, you come up and it has the King James Version and the Strong's Concordance is the plus. That is already downloaded when it comes into your system. So back to the King James. So if you want to add other Bibles, go into Download Bibles. And you can download all these other Bibles if you want for free. You can download all these versions for free. Go in and check different areas, graphics, reference books. It has many, many sources there. Fox's Book of Martyrs. So this website does have a lot in it. So let's go back to the King James Version. Concordance. So if you want to look up the word God for H430, remember H is for Hebrew, the G is for Greek. This is going to be Elohim. It shows the pronunciation, how it's spelled. And it is the God of gods. It's in the Bible 2,601 times in the Old Testament in Hebrew. So then you can pick over here and go to waters. The Hebrew word for water is mayim. The I is pronounced like an E. So it gives you the spelling, the pronunciation, and the definition. It's in the Bible 579 times. So that's how you use this source here. So the word for day in Hebrew is Yom. Yom Kippur, Yom Rosh Hashanah, Yom. For the Hebrew word for day is Yom. We'll go back to the regular. If you want to make the print bigger, you can hit the magnifying glass. It'll make it bigger. Want to go to the next chapter? Chapter 2, 3, you can use this button here. There's also lookups over here. So if you want to find a different book, you hit the little Bible at the top. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 5 for the 10 Commandments, which I discussed in session 1, week 2, which has been left out of the Catholic workbooks and the Catholic websites. Verse number 2 has been left out. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image or likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in earth beneath, or in the waters. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. This verse, this is number 2 in the 10 Commandments. This is left off of every Catholic workbook and website. They take number 10 and stretch it into 2 verses to make up for the gap. If you go to the lookup here on the binoculars, so let's say you wanted to look up the eyes of the Lord. Now, you can look it up with the concordance, or you can look it up straight. You could search for all the words, any of the words, the exact phrase, or regular expressions. So let's do the exact phrase to narrow it down. You can look it up in the whole Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. Let's see if in the eyes of the Lord in the Old Testament. So you have to click the binocular. It will not work on the enter. It's in there 21 times in the Old Testament, the eyes of the Lord, the exact phrase. Remember, you have to use the binoculars in order to search. It does not work with the enter key. Now, if you want to look it up in using the Strong's, you have to click that. You have to go back and click the binoculars again. Now it comes up with all of the definitions. So here's Lord, Jehovah. It's not with a J. H3068. It's in there 6,521 times. Jehovah is in there 4 times, but Jehovah actually is the Jehovah for the capital L-O-R-D. That's how you tell the difference. If it's Jehovah, we'll have a capital L-O-R-D. Then you can look up eyes, ayin. So we already know the word for eyes is ayin in Hebrew, the 16th letter. Egyptian, Mitzarim. So that's how you can use this dictionary here. So like I said, go and check each one of these tabs, click them. There's lots of fun things there that you can look up. Lots of information, references. Remember, you can increase it or decrease it. Let me go back over here and show you one more thing. So let's type in the word rock. So the word rock is in here 106 times. but I only want to see it in this book, Numbers 20. So you click that, Numbers 20:10, get rid of this, and there it is right here in gold, and it takes you straight to the chapter that it's in. So you can read the whole chapter around one verse. Very easily it takes you there. So this is really easy. You have no ads popping up, no other junk on the side from any websites. So this makes a very nice Bible study and very quick and easy to read. And that's all for the eSword.net. The third source for a Strong's Concordance lookup is on your laptop, PC, or tablet. It's called thekingsbible.com, and this has a dictionary, references, world atlases, references, a lot of study tools. So you can look up the words in Hebrew, the Strong's Concordance, many good references on this website, thekingsbible.com. And now we will go to the video teaching on how to use it. This is part 3 of Bible Hebrew, looking up in the Strong's Concordance. This is our third selection and third reference for looking up words in Hebrew, Greek, and a concordance. If you go to thekingsbible.com, thekingsbible.com, and you can go to Home, which has a lot of things here. You can look up all the books, chapters, an easy lookup. You can go to the dictionary, so it has a lookup. Type in your word or verse. Concordance, same thing. Type in word. You have your atlas, so you can search an area of the Bible, and your library has all this. History, stories, translators, King James translators, all of these interesting historical references for your Bible. Here's the Strong's numbers. You can enter the Strong's numbers, Bible facts and statistics, the King's Bible. So this is a very good reference also. So let's go to the concordance. So I'm going to look up the word man. So this is showing where it's in the Bible, what verses. It's found in 2,425 verses. And it shows you all the verses that it can be found in. Any chapter. So let's click this. And this shows you here, let us make man in our image. So it goes right down there. So then let's click the book. Alright. So now here it is, the Hebrew words that are in that sentence in the scripture verse, Genesis 1:26. And it goes into all the definitions. So air, and it goes into all the definitions. So we can go into man, and it gives you man. Now let's click the concordance number H120. So there it gives you in nice big print, because the eSword.net is good for looking up something, but it's very hard to read the Hebrew definition. It was very small. So what's nice here, it's all written big. So it gives you where you can see the vowels, you can see all the words for man. So there it is translated, Adam. Here's how to spell it, pronounce it, Adam. It's a masculine noun. I told you that's important. The definition. So here's the apostrophe. Right over here is your apostrophe for the aleph, the mark. Then the A is this underneath. Underneath is the A, D, A, M. And that's the final or safit, the way you write an M at the end of the word. It has a different shape. So the image of God, which I cover in session 1, week 3, the image is your righteousness, the shepherd over the water. TS, that can be a TS or TZ, your L, and your M. When the M's at the end of the word, it's going to look like that. TS, L, M. TS, E, the 3 dots underneath is the E. L, go back up, come down, there's your E, the 3 dots, and your M. Teslim. It's a masculine noun, the image of God, the image, the likeness. We are made in His image. He is light. We're the reflection of His light. So that's how you can look these up. See the Hebrew, how it's spelled out, and the pronunciation. Teslim, Teslim, T-S-L-M. The consonants. The vowels were added later. So that's how you use this lookup. thekingsbible.com on your PC or laptop. And you could use it in the browser on your phone and add it to your home screen on your phone. Notes, Atlas, New Testament. Here's all the books. References, stories, margin notes. And so that is how you can use thekingsbible.com. And that is the end. Now I will show you how to compare your sources, including a fourth one, BibleHub.com, to show how when you know the vowels or how the letters to make sure they're spelled correctly. Sometimes you will find errors. So over here in the blueletterbible.org, I noticed that the word for rock, Selah, was spelled C-E-L-A-H, but I know that this vowel over here for 3 dots is for an E. So I knew this was either this was misspelled or the Hebrew was misspelled, because I know the vowels and we'll be teaching those. So you have the L-A-H, or this is an L-E-H. So I looked it up in the BibleHub.com, which is another web browser. You can look up another source. And I noticed for the Selah, and remember I said that this S can be either a C or an S for Selah, S-E-L-A-H or C-E-L-A-H, so either one is correct, an S or C is fine, but the vowel is not correct. So over here, I notice it does have the A underneath the L there, S-E-L-A-H. So I thought, well, let's check another source to see if I'm correct. So now we'll go over here to the kingsbible.com, and they have the letter vowel A underneath also, Selah, C-E-L-A-H. for Selah. So it's C or an S, E, the 3 dots, L, Lamed, underneath is the A, and the H. There's a little opening on the end there, so that's an H. So this tells me 2 sources have put an A under there, an A. So that's telling me that they have the wrong vowel over here in the blueletterbible.org. So let's check a 4th source and see if I'm still correct. So over here, and like I said, the esor.net is very hard to read. So it's very small. But that does look like an E with 3 dots and the A that's a cross T underneath it for Selah, S-E-L-A-H. And that is an A under there. So the blueletterbible.org had the wrong vowel written in the Hebrew. So you'll be able to pick it out once we get that memorized, the letters memorized and the vowels. So you'll be able to do the same thing. And now you have 4 sources because I added BibleHub.com where you could look up some more Hebrew words. Sometimes they have it misspelled on there too. So now I have a 4th source, which is good. And that is the end of the Strong's Concordance lookup. Thank you very much. And this is Minister Gail for the Learning Basic Hebrew Virtual Classroom 2020.